with Numina, however the fuck you pronounce it, with that game, I'm not. I wasn't exactly sure what really to think about it. Um, by just a glance, it was really hard to kind of judge, especially since it's an RPG Maker game. For anybody who plays RPG Maker games or uses RPG Maker, there's a big kind of majority rule that a lot of the shit that gets put on there or is made or developed on there is kind of garbage. And it's understandable. Me and my buddies do this uh thing like once a month where we'll just go on the Steam Workshop and pick out like 12 games, like 12 demos, and they're all and like I think out of like the 50 games we've done so far, like 4 of them have been decent. So, needless to say, RPG Maker isn't known for its, fantastic games. That being said, you do get gems like One Shot or other games like that. So it is possible to really make a game that is good, but I really didn't have my hopes up for this. Then I played the demo and I was like, all right, I need to buy this. And as like the moment it came out in my time zone, I fucking picked it up immediately. Like I didn't even fucking think about it. I woke up early. It came out, I believe, at 3 a.m. in my time zone. I woke up at 2:45, was up. I bought the game and the soundtrack, and honestly, I haven't finished the game full yet. This is a first impressions video, so you know, like for what you're gonna get here is probably like the first 3 to 5 hours of gameplay, um, of how I feel about it so far, and if I end up really changing my opinions on it at the end, I'll make a full review on it or something of the like. So let's get into this. Let's start. My first impressions of Numina, one of those words. The story at the start is kind of cut and dry. It could easily be placed into another RPG, and it kind of be like no different until they actually add you. Um, you you the character are a like spirit in their world, and you can talk to the main character Sean, and you can kind of like up your stats with him. Like you can up his appreciation for you. You can down his appreciation. You can do it with all the characters basically, but they all interact with you through Sean except Sean himself, which I thought was kind of cool. It really does kind of add that you can kind of like talk to the characters. There are specific lines of dialogue that you can pick from, but you know, it's not surprising to me that like almost no game has the ability to just like type in what you want to say and it'll automatically generate a sentence for you. Like it doesn't like that that's I don't think that's ever going to happen. But it is cool that you can like, talk to the characters in some way shape or form. That is, I think it was part of the description on Steam that it was kind of like this fourth wall breaking idea dimension, and I think it works pretty well. The story being like pretty linear itself is actually, I think, a good thing for this, especially because, having, well, there are certain like limits that RPG Maker has, of course, but I think it works really well for this because you are basically along for the entire ride. There's like no cuts in between, at least at the start. There's no cuts in between, like, the action and the story and all that. So you really get to like see what's happening pretty fast, which I enjoy because I hate when RPGs overstay their welcome. And so far with this game, it's looking pretty good. The gameplay is something that I was kind of surprised about. Not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but I was at the start I was like, "What? I've never seen this before." That's basically how it felt. And it's basically a turn-based RPG with what I can best describe as uh, reaction commands from Kingdom Hearts. Sounds weird, but when you play it, it might make a little bit more sense. I have no idea how else to describe that. Basically, in order to land an attack, you have to land it in like this small circle. In order to block an attack, you block it in the small circle or whatever shape pops up, and it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It adds a little bit more to the gameplay. It also made me realize that I suck at reaction. My reaction time sucks. So maybe this game will help with that. But it does work really well. And I really enjoy that, and it's nice. The last thing I want to get into is, sorry, it's nighttime when I'm recording this. The last thing I want to get into is um the art and the style of the game. Now, just based off of like the the look of the game, it does with, I'm sure it has like its own texture pack and like certain textures or certain plugins that give you like new resources or resource packs and such. But just looking at it, I could kind of see that it was made in RPGmaker, which isn't a bad thing. I think it looks nice, and the animations for like specifically Aura being carried by Raph, I think they did really well with that, and it looks good. The faces move, which is pretty cool. You could see them, and the art for the avatars for like the entire game is like really solid. I like it. I wish they had a few more. Um, I wish they had a few more emotions, but there's, I can't complain too much. So far, it's really good. So yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying this game. I thought it was just going to be another RPGmaker game that just kind of faded into obscurity. I think, well, it's not, I don't think it's going to be right now, just as I'm playing. I don't, I can't say it's going to be anybody's favorite game, but I think people are going to enjoy it at the very least. And I'm enjoying it myself, which is surprising considering I'm not the biggest fan of RPGs, but this game, I'm liking it so far. And just off the first few hours, I'd advise you to check it out. But that's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why you would do that. It's a weird thing to do. You should do it anyway, though. Alright. We'll talk to you guys later.